Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are giving you our Week 6 fantasy football waiver wire pickups. We're here to help you figure out on who you should be targeting on that waiver wire and who you need to avoid. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thank you very much for checking out our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. We like to have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
Hope you do too. I mean, we're talking about a fake game right now. I mean, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
But hey guys.
So what is it? It's Dungeons and Dragons for jocks.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
D&D for FFB. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
FFU.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. All right.
Fairness. But every week, we're going to give you the players you need to target on the waiver wire, which we will do today for Week 6. So we're going to help you find the value in players that others may overlook. Follow along so we can help you win that championship. And Kyle, what you got right before we get going?
Hey, man,
buddy?
you know what? Just go ahead and click that like button down below. You can also hit that subscribe button and the bell. That way you're notified every time that we go live. We went live last week at the end of the week during Thursday Night Football. We recorded all of our starts and sits, actually. Justin's there watching the football game on Monday night here. We're recording this. So he's just looking above the camera there. But you know what?
Nice little big screen right here.
Yeah,
that's
nice. We tend to
nice.
record on days that they're playing games. It's kind of funny, but that's what we end up doing. And so we're watching a little bit. I've got it behind the camera actually here too, so that I can see it. But yeah, hey, we missed on Sunday. Sorry about that. We are trying to make sure that we get the Sunday live stream going. This last week, we had some scheduling conflicts. I am relocating to an entirely different state now. The Upside is going to be in the same state for the first time in a very long time. And as a result, I am house hunting, and that just takes precedence. I don't get to set the schedule always on that. So Sunday was a little bit difficult for us, but the next two, I can pretty much guarantee we are on for the next two at least. We are talking about waiver wire pickups today. We limit that usually to the guys rostered in less than 60% of leagues in Yahoo fantasy football. The reason we stick to Yahoo is a lot of leagues are in Yahoo. It's a good metric. There's a lot of randomness to it to some extent. So 60% is a good number to stay below. And if he's under 60%, then he's fair game. All right. So the only other thing I got here is if you got a question, feel free to drop a comment down below. We've gotten a lot of great ones. We try to answer them in the comments. We also try to answer them during our live streams as well. So if you got a question, raise your hand.
Little help now.
And we will help out. Yes, that is right. That was awesome when somebody quoted that actually in the comments. They're like, little help.
Was.
And the question, little help now.
It was.
All right.
Real quick, before we get going, it's a little more bear out there on the waiver wire this week. So we usually have 4 and 4. We're going to have 4 and 3. So that means Kyle is going to go first and hit us with our first running back. Yeah.
So let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end and get going on this one. Here we go. All right. Running back. I've got Devonta Booker. He's only 7% rostered right now. Saquon is slated to miss at least next week, guys. So
Did you see that? Did you see that picture, Kyle?
No, I did not.
That ankle of Saquon. Oh my God.
No, and they're talking about like he's a fast healer, and I'm like, well, yeah, he's got a lot of practice at healing. Because man, oh boy, right?
Yeah.
So hey, if he only misses 1 week, I still think it's worthwhile pickup, but probably just you got to temper your expectation here, okay? So Devonta Booker's probably a lot of people are going to overpay for him if they haven't already blown all their fab bucks at this point, right? But last week he had 16 carries, which is great, but he was extremely inefficient. He had 42 yards and a touchdown off of the carries, and he had 3 of 4 targets he caught, and he had 16 more yards in the passing game and a touchdown there. So the 2 touchdowns are really what made the week for him. Otherwise, he was probably at best like a back-end flex play, and who had him in their flex? Nobody did. So anybody who goes out and pays up heavily for him, let them chase the points. So don't blow your fab money on him. or your high waiver priority, this isn't a guy I would chase the points on. He's super inefficient. I wouldn't expect much better out of this Giants offense going forward than an inefficient running back other than Saquon. So don't chase the points here. This is a super temporary kind of guy. You're looking at 1, maybe 2 weeks based on what they're saying right now, at least, right?
Yep.
And touchdowns are such an unpredictable stat. Wait, I got something for that, right?
Statistics.
Yeah, avoid it. So don't overpay, but be willing to use him this week if you need. He's a flex play at best. All right, that's what I got on running back. What do you have?
Alrighty, for my running back, I have Daryl Williams, Kansas City Chiefs, 12% roster right now. I think if you're going to go out and try to get somebody on the waiver wire, I think this is the guy you go after because we have another running back going down with injury, and that is Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. The Hilaire is going to be out for a few weeks with the MCL sprain, which is actually better than what they originally thought. They thought maybe it was going to be season ending, so at least it's only going to be a few weeks, but that means this guy's going to have some fantasy relevance. He slides right into the running back 1 role with the Chiefs and should provide, I would say, mid to low end running back 2 value. And this is, once again, one of the best offenses out there. So Williams was on my radar actually before the injury happened, and he should have been on yours too, because, before the injury to CEH, he was eating into his workload, especially at the goal line, and at times looked to be outplaying him this season. So Jerick McKinnon will get some run on third downs, but I think Daryl will get the majority of the touches. He'll probably be the number 1 target this week, and I would be okay with putting one of my top priorities on there. I wouldn't be okay with putting, 25% or something like that with my fab, but maybe 10 to 15.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's a reason why this guy's a backup. He's more of a little bit of a plotter than he is of an elusive back.
At this point in his career, yeah, absolutely. I just don't see it being worth much of the budget either. That offense hasn't been going through the running back anyway, so you'd be severely limited at what the result's going to be for you. All right, moving on to wide receiver. I've got the first of 2 hunters here. I've got Hunter Renfro. He is 45% rostered. Yeah, spoiler alert. 45% rostered in Yahoo leagues, so that's good enough. Look, he's currently wide receiver 12 in a ton of leagues. Kind of depends on how your league scores, but he's wide receiver 12. It's a bit deceiving, though, just like his speed, right? Justin, it's a bit deceiving.
See what you did there.
Yeah, see what I did there?
I like what you did there.
Look, he's only had two startable weeks so far this year, and we classify startable as top 36 for wide receivers. So if he falls outside those top 36, he's technically not startable as far as we're concerned, because he's at best the flex play and most likely not a play at all. And so he's just doing more harm than good. Now, obviously, a guy who's a wide receiver 4 could be valuable still most of the time, because most of the time there's going to be a lot of busts in wide receiver world. But still, 2 startable weeks out of 5, not so great. Weeks 3 and 4, he was wide receiver 10 and wide receiver 25, respectively. Otherwise, he's not been able to be any better than wide receiver 42. That's not good. We're talking about the Keenan Allen roller coaster from the last 4 years, right? It's just not consistent. Does this continue, though, now that Chucky's gone, right? I'm not sure if the scrappy white guy is going to continue to get the ball as much as he did before. Now that Gruden is no longer there calling the shots, right? Maybe the other guys will who are not white will get a little bit more play.
Might be too soon, Kyle.
Maybe a little too soon. I have that in here. Too soon? Yeah, probably too soon. The news came out like an hour ago, right? Still, you have to be pleased with the consistency and targets so far. That's something that you can point at and say, this is a reliable thing, that maybe Hunter Renfro is a bit boom or bust, but he is consistently seeing the ball thrown his way. He's averaging 7.6 targets per game, and that's a great number to see. So I think he's worth spending a little bit on. I wouldn't put my top level bet on him in budget, and I would not put top waiver wire on him, but I would be willing to spend, back in waiver wire, maybe 5-10% fab, and that's about it, because he is consistently getting enough targets to potentially crack your lineup. So what do you have at wide receiver?
All right, well, this kind of pains me to say, and I think this is going to be one of the first times here at the Upside that we're going to have 2 New York Giant football players has waiver wire claims here, waiver wire players, and that's Kadarius Toney. But there's a reason right here for Kadarius Toney, 14% rostered. Last week I was going through my list of potential waiver wire pickups, and Toney definitely made my list after seeing 6 targets and doing quite well with those targets. But man, week 5, my boy blew up.
Yeah, he did.
He had 13 targets.
He blew up and he tried to blow people up.
189 yards. Yeah, that's what I have right here. I was like, he did come with a couple hiccups last week. He got tossed for throwing a punch towards the end of the game, but
against somebody who had a helmet on.
Yeah, because that's always smart. And, you make your living with your hands, so brilliant. Yeah. But he also got nicked up with an ankle injury as well. So the word is, though, from Giants is that he avoided an injury that would force him to miss any time. And the team says that they do not think Toney is going to miss any time for a suspension either. So maybe just a fine in that one. But he has the reason why he's been getting some work is because Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton have been nursing injuries. I think both down with hamstring injuries. And now your boy Kenny G is expected to miss a game or two, at least with a hyperextended knee. Yep. So this rookie, I mean, he's a first-round pick. They wanted him. He's carved out a pretty significant role. He's extremely shifty with the ball in his hands. And I think this is a guy that you can put a little money down on to pick him up. And you just might see a little bit of an inconsistency with his game because he plays for the New York Giants and his quarterback is Danny Pennies.
Yeah. I just have one note. You brought it up a little bit that he's especially shifty when he's got the ball. His instincts with the ball are amazing. There was a catch I saw where he's basically bracketed. There's a guy over his left shoulder while he's facing the back at the quarterback, over his left shoulder, and another one on the right here in front of him. He catches the ball and he catches it out in front. He just brought it up and just kind of shimmied past the dude. Like both of them just dove right at him, and he just, not even seeing it, just knew where the guy was, and so he kind of knew where the hit would come from. So it was very impressive. Smart in that respect, not smart throwing a punch especially against somebody with a helmet on. All right, let's talk about tight end. And as I foreboded or forecasted, I suppose, before, this is the second Hunter for me. I've got Hunter Henry, right? Hunter Henry. Second Hunter of the night. Second week in a row, he's been a tight end 1, guys. Tight end 11 and then tight end 4. Now, obviously, we were watching Monday Night Football, so there's no idea right now who is, might jump up ahead of him. I'm guessing Mark Andrews might have a close enough night to get ahead and creep ahead of tight end 4 there, but I'm not sure just yet. So he's starting to connect with Mac Jones, right? Probably because he's Tom Brady's younger brother. Check this out, Justin. Look at this dude. Is that not Tom Brady's draft picture right there? It looks like Tom Brady, kinda. That really, like when he was like 22 years old.
I think of the draft picture, but I also think of the combine picture, and my mind just went to, let's see what Hunter Henry looks like when he's just standing there with the shorts on, waiting in the combine.
He looks like that, just like Tom Brady,
just like that.
Yeah, except this is Tom Brady with the same hair back then, but without the plugs. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's move on from that. Look, seriously though, touchdown in each of the last 2 weeks. That's awesome to see. 32 yards in week 4, 75 in week 5. That's a very good thing to see. Better stat to see still is the targeting is creeping up for him. It's been pretty darn solid, actually. Meanwhile, Jonnu's targets are trending in the opposite direction. I think he only had 2 last week and 5 the week before that. And so it looks to me as though Hunter Henry is connecting with Mac Jones, and that's a relationship that's great. A rookie QB with a tight end, and it's starting to work. That's a great one to go after. So I would suggest running out and spending a decent amount if you're struggling in the tight end department, which, I mean, come on, who's not? Go out and get Hunter Henry, spend a little bit. You can get him. He's 46% rostered right now in Yahoo. So what do you have at tight end?
All right, at tight end, I have Dan Arnold. Yes. Hey, Arnold. Yep. Jacksonville Jags, 3% rostered.
Roseanne's husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was his name?
It was John Goodman, but it was Dan Arnold was the character's name. Gotcha.
But I said this during our live stream week 5 start-sit matchup that you need to watch the targets for Dan Arnold in this week 5 game. And, Dan, he got 8 targets last week for 6 catches and 64 yards. He did fumble during the first drive, and that fumble was actually returned for a touchdown. But our boy Urban, he actually is sticking up for his guy.
For now.
He actually left him
for
in
now
there.
until he's the next Gruden.
Well, that's true. I mean, we're
nobody's probably.
Is it one or two more?
Yeah. How many 20?
more?
Yeah. How many 26-year-old blondes need to, roll up before this starts getting to become a problem? Nobody is happier right now than him that John Gruden's
true.
emails came out.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. But going back to our guy, Dan Arnold, he's still getting acclimated to this offense. But, I mean, he was always been one of those big wide receiver playing tight end. So, and the Jags are looking to get this guy involved. I mean, they made a trade for a reason. They made a trade before week 4. So they are playing Miami, whose defense has not been the greatest defending the tight end this year. However, they do have a bye week after this coming week. So week 7 is their bye week. So this is a fine tight end to pick up if you have some space on your roster, knowing that you're not going to have him for week 7.
Yep.
So definitely have, some sort of plan in place for that.
Yep.
But I like him.
Yeah.
What you got for our QB?
All right, the one and only QB here. This is more of a pinch pickup, guys. This is a guy, if you're in a pinch and you need somebody, you can pick him up here. But it's pretty promising, actually. 16% rostered right now. That is Taylor Heineke, right? Taylor Heineke of Washington football team. Yeah, Heineke. Wait, did I have everybody have an H? No, Devonta Booker. Darn it. I should have gone with all H's, right? Anyway, he is quietly putting together a solid season. Unlike you and I, right? Our fantasy teams have not done great in our league together this season so far. Injuries. Yeah, I think I've got about 3 or 4 down all in the last week, and you have lost everybody. And you traded away somebody who's now healthy, and the guy you got was immediately injured.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically we need to publish his roster and just warn everyone, don't pick up these guys. Trade them away if you have them. That kind of thing. All right.
It's just sad that it's the only one lead that I have 4 leads and I'm doing great in the other 3.
Yeah.
Our league, injuries, baby.
Nope. Yeah. Every time you get the first pick. If you take out week 1, Taylor Heineke's been pretty darn solid. He's only had one other week in which he wasn't a QB1 other than that week 1. And, that he was still, I think he was like QB 25. Or 23, something like that. So he was still a play in flex leagues. So if you're in a pinch at QB, you should consider picking him up. He's got great matchups the next 2 weeks. He's got Kansas City, followed by a Jair-less Green Bay, and he's feasted on bad defenses, actually. He's been a QB1 in most of the weeks that he's seen bad to mediocre defenses, even one week where it was a good defense. The only other week that he struggled was against New Orleans this last week. So you might get a guy who's flying under the radar right now, and he's, like I said, he's been putting up QB1 weeks. That's worth it. It's worth a pickup. So that's going to do it here for the waiver wire pickups, guys. Hopefully that is going to provide a few names for you. If you have a couple other suggestions, feel free to drop them down below. Or if you have questions on guys that maybe you're considering picking up and who you could drop, feel free to drop that question down below, or hit us up on Twitter at FFB_upside. Justin's at JW_the_upside. And I am at Kyle_the upside. We'll try to answer your question timely. If we don't, we'll get you during one of our live streams, which if you're subscribed, you'll find out when we're going live, guys. All right, that's going to do it for waiver wires. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
See ya.